On a warm October night in 1973, two men went fishing near the banks of the Pascagoula River in Mississippi. But they didn't just catch fish. What they experienced would shock the world, terrify skeptics, and become one of the most chilling alien abduction cases in American history. This is the story of Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker, two men who claimed they were taken aboard a craft by inhuman creatures. And what happened next still defies all logic. Charles Hickson, 42, and Calvin Parker, 19, were co-workers at a local shipyard. That evening, they decided to go fishing near an abandoned shipyard along the Pascagoula River. Calvin wanted a quiet, peaceful night. He had no idea he was about to become part of one of the most disturbing alien abduction cases ever recorded. As they fished, the sun dipped below the horizon. Darkness fell. The only sound were the chirping of insects and the gentle flow of the river. Then, a high-pitched whirring sound filled the air. Hovering just a few feet above the ground was a glowing, football-shaped object, roughly 30 feet long, metallic, and silent now. From it emerged three beings. But these weren't the little green men of cartoons. These creatures were gray, around 5 feet tall, with no visible eyes and claw-like hands. Their skin looked wrinkled, almost robotic. They didn't walk, they floated. Parker froze in terror. Before he could react, he felt numb, paralyzed, as if something had taken over his body. The beings grabbed both men. They were levitated into the craft. Inside, Calvin and Charles were separated. Calvin remembered a large, eye-like device that scanned his body. He described it as a cold medical examination. No words, no communication, just an overwhelming sense of being observed, studied. Meanwhile, Charles later said he remained conscious and remembered a strange, orb-like machine floating above him. After what felt like an eternity, they were returned to the riverbank. Disoriented, terrified, shaking, the craft, gone, vanished into the sky without a sound. Panic set in. Calvin was so traumatized he collapsed. Charles, more composed, insisted they report the event. They drove to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. At first, authorities thought they were drunk or hallucinating, but when left alone in a room, secretly recorded. What investigators captured shocked them. The tape revealed two men, whispering in panic. "I know they're going to come back. My God, Calvin, what happened to us?" Their fear was real, raw, unscripted. Suddenly, the story exploded. Within days, the media descended on Pascagoula. News stations ran with the alien abduction headline. People called them liars, attention seekers, even crazy. But Calvin didn't want attention. In fact, he refused interviews, moved away, and tried to forget the experience. Charles, however, stuck to his story for the rest of his life. They both passed polygraph tests. They never gained wealth or fame. They just wanted people to believe them. Years later, new witnesses came forward. In 2018, documents were uncovered showing that other people near the river that night had also seen the strange lights. But it stayed silent for decades out of fear. Calvin Parker finally broke his silence, releasing a book and sharing details he had buried for years, including memories he said came back under hypnosis. He described telepathic messages, images of disaster, and a warning. Humans are destroying their planet, and we are being watched. Nearly 50 years later, the Pascagoula abduction remains one of the most credible alien encounters in U.S. history. No hoax, no evidence of a scam, just two men who were never the same again. Skeptics say it's just another UFO story. But those who've heard the secret tapes, those who looked into Calvin's eyes when he recalled that night, they believe something terrifying happened on the banks of that quiet Mississippi River. And if it happened once, what's stopping it from happening again? If you believe we're alone in the universe, think again. This was Whispers Unsolved. Subscribe for more real, unexplained mysteries. And remember, truth is often stranger than fiction.
For more strange disappearances and unsolved cases, subscribe to Whispers Unsolved.